Hi guys, so I'm going to get straight to the point. The number one thing that really gets in the way of us guitar players progressing is a type of fear. And I'm not talking about the type of fear that's like, oh my God, we're going to die. I'm talking about this low-level rumbling beneath the surface thing that we're not even really aware of most of the time. I call this fear the what if fear. What if? Let me give you an example of how this would affect you. So let's say that you've come up with a lick and you've never played anything like this before, you haven't heard anybody else do anything like this, so it's kind of unprecedented. So it's something that hasn't been done yet, okay? So there's no proof that it can be done. So let's say you start practicing it, you've done it for a day or two, a couple of days. By the third day, you're beginning to doubt the process. You're beginning to doubt yourself, can I actually make this work? And by then, with a sort of bit of reluctance, maybe a little bit of sadness, you sort of kind of give it up and think, well, sod it was never going to work anyway. I'll go back to something that's proven that I know will work. And what happened there was the what if fear came along and stopped you from doing something new. And how it works is, what if I do this thing and it doesn't work? The consequence of that would then be, I wasted all that time. So let's say you do that. What if I spend 2 weeks trying this picking style and then it doesn't work? The implication of that is I've wasted 2 weeks of my time. Now, in the grand scheme of things, 2 weeks of your life is nothing. You probably don't even remember what you were doing 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks is nothing but a memory now. What you're doing 2 weeks ago doesn't even seem important in the current moment. So this idea that we're losing time doesn't really have anything to it. Ultimately, this fear is basically uncertainty, and we hate uncertainty. Human beings don't deal with uncertainty at all. We don't like it. That's why we don't like change. We like knowing what's going to happen. But there's a brilliant quote in the movie The Rookie from Clint Eastwood, 1990, an old movie. And he says, if you want a guarantee, buy a toaster. And he's right. If we want a guarantee, we should buy an electrical appliance, because there are no guarantees with life. So if you want to try a specific lick or a specific approach with the guitar playing, there's no guarantee it's going to work out. There's none whatsoever. But if you don't go through the process and see if it works, you'll never get to the point of where you know. So let's say you did spend 3, 4, 5 weeks on something, and you get to the end of that 5 weeks, and you decide, it's not working, I'll try something else. You could never have got to that decision if you hadn't have spent that time getting to that point. So trying something is never a bad thing. So if you spend time trying something, it's always going to give you a result. It's never wasted time. But the what if fear stops you from putting the time in. The only thing you can really do about the what if fear is acknowledge its existence. Yeah, this is self-awareness. Self-awareness is brilliant weapon in your arsenal against these negative mindsets. Self-awareness is very underrated. When you know about it, you can then stop it from affecting you. So just knowing about this what if fear plaguing you all the time, this uncertainty, this doubt, knowing about it means you can say, okay, I see you, I know what you're doing, I don't give a shit, I'm going to do this anyway, and you can't stop me. And don't be afraid to get really forceful and vulgar with fighting against this annoying rumbling fear that goes on in the background. Don't be afraid of going, fuck you, I don't give a shit. I fucking know you're there in the background, rumbling away, trying to say, what if it doesn't work? Well, you might waste all that time. Who gives a shit? What was I going to do anyway? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? I don't get any better? Well, you're going to get better because you just found one way that it doesn't work. So now you can get on to the next way that you might find it works. I've just written an ebook, The Tao of Badass Guitar. And I would never have done that if I'd listened to the what if fear. Yeah? And I'll talk about all this stuff in that book. And I'm not selling it here. I don't give a shit if nobody buys it. I'm a musician. I'm used to putting out stuff that nobody buys. So this is nothing new to me. But I'm using it as an example to show you, if I had listened to that what if fear, what if nobody buys it? What if everybody thinks it's a load of shit? I never would have done it. Yeah? I never would have written a song. I never would have written an album. I'd never put anything out there. I'd just stay in this little cocoon of, well, I can't do anything, so I can't get anything wrong and nobody can hurt me, This cocoon of indecision. So all you need to know is this happens, this uncertainty, this what if fear is always rumbling along every time you try and create something or do something new. And you're not going to get rid of it, and that's not the goal. You don't have to try and get rid of it. You just have to be aware that it's there and say, I don't give a shit. I'm doing this anyway. Right, I've rambled on enough. I'm going to wrap this up. As always, you can find my badass downloadable courses on my site. So if you need any technical guidance on aspects of your guitar playing, like picking, sweeping, hand sync, even vibrato, go and check it out. And there'll always be more coming in the future, so don't miss out on those. Really more of a psychological video this time rather than guitar tips, but this is an aspect which I think is really important, and unless you actually go looking for psychologically specific advice, you're not really going to get this sort of stuff on a guitar channel. So I hope you find it interesting, and I hope you find it useful, more to the point. So I'm going to sign off. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Double point.